Hey everybody, welcome back to another PTSD and Beyond podcast episode. PTSD and Beyond is number 1 for post-traumatic stress podcasts, 3 years in a row. Yep, touching lives in over 120 countries. And hey, you know what? Let's give a shout out to last month, July. Okay, top 3 rating countries. 1 was the United States. Number 2, our friends to the north and Canada. And then all the way down under, our friends over there in Australia. So thank you so much for your participation and listening to the podcast episode. I'm your host, Dr. Deb, and today we're going to be talking about something a little bit fascinating. Yes, I know, something that blends ancient wisdom and modern well-being. Why do we want to do this? Because we want to look at embracing integrative modalities for healing. Because sometimes focusing on the things that are, I don't want to say everyday, but pretty much normal, sometimes we need to shake it up. We need to look at what else is out there. What else is out there? And integrative modalities like astrology, I know, right? Why? Well, because we got a new moon coming up. We got a couple things that are coming up just this week. We have a new moon, and then we also have Mercury in retrograde. Now, for some, this might be a little bit of a stretch. Why this podcast episode came up is because somebody asked the question, do you think there's something about a full moon and how a full moon affects people? Do you think so? And I gave it some thought. And I thought to myself, if we know that the moon's gravitational pull affects our oceans, and our oceans are vast, isn't it plausible that maybe, just maybe, the moon and some of the planets could also affect us? I mean, a person is pretty much like a Horton Hears a Who speck, right? Compared to the oceans. All right, so that's why this episode is about. We're going to explore a couple things. We're going to explore how events like the new moon and Mercury retrograde can be embraced as opportunities for healing and growth rather than feared, because Mercury retrograde gets a bad rap. And I'm going to share my own lived experience with what happened and how I actually changed my mindset about Mercury retro. We're also going to talk about how cosmic events can support our journey from post-traumatic stress and enhance our overall well-being. Remember, keep an open. I'm going to leave that blooper in there. You know, I have to say something before recording this. Okay, note to Dr. Deb, don't eat a popsicle beforehand. Why? Because it makes most things a tongue twister. So we're going to explore a few things together and just keep an open mind. Just keep an open mind, all right? Because you never know. There might be somebody right now that's thinking, all right, I'm going to listen to this. And maybe by the end of the episode, you're going to, oh, gosh, guess what? You're never going to believe it in a million years. I hope that somebody has that. You're never going to believe it in a million years effect. All right, so first, understanding integrative modalities. Let's talk about it. So these are approaches that combine different techniques and philosophies to promote holistic healing. They are practices like meditation, yoga, even prayer, mantras, affirmations, aromatherapy, acupressure, coloring, and even astrology. The idea is to look at our well-being for multiple perspectives. So there's not a one-size-fits-all. There's not a vanilla approach to healing. And I'd like people to think about looking at integrative modalities not as a vast assortment, but yeah, like that box of chocolate that you open it up and there's all these different pieces in there. And you never know the one you're going to say, oh my gosh, what is this one? And then you flip the box over just to see what chocolate piece that is. I mean, come on, we've all done it. Or if we get the super fancy one, you open up the box lid and all the assortments are right there on the lid itself, so you don't have to flip the box over and dump everything out. We've all done that before, right? But just think about integrative modalities as different pieces of chocolate, and that we're going to explore. Maybe one's going to work. Maybe one we're going to say, yeah, no, not so much. And that's okay. But the idea is to just be open to exploring different techniques and philosophies, and recognizing that healing is just not about symptoms. It's not just about addressing symptoms. Because if we just continue to address symptoms, then we're being reactive about nurturing ourselves, as opposed to nurturing our mind and our body and our spirit. And astrology has been used for centuries. It's been used by centuries to gain insights into our personalities and even our life paths. People will look at astrology on birthdays, when a new baby's been born, anniversary dates, compatibility. There's all sorts. Jobs. When should I sign those documents? When not to sign the documents? Oh, Mercury retrograde, right? That's what most people think. And some people see it purely as symbolic. Others find real value in its guidance. And what I also like about it is cultural. So we find astrology throughout cultures around the world. And today we're going to focus on two specific astrological events: the new moon, and yes, Mercury retrograde. So the new moon, it actually happens on August 4th. And the new moon, what it represents is new beginnings. Hence, new moon, new beginning. It's a great time to set intentions. It's a wonderful time to start things, to begin fresh, and also to plant seeds for things that we want to grow. It's a great time to reflect on what is it that I'd like to achieve, accomplish, start a new project, develop a new habit, even re-look at something that maybe was put on the shelf that you're thinking, hey, you know what, I'm going to give that one more try. So a new moon, we can think about it as new beginnings, new possibilities, revisiting something, starting new projects, launching something, launching a business, launching a side hustle, starting a new hobby, trying a new recipe, creating new things that are fun. It's all about opportunity and possibility with newness and new beginnings. So to set our intention for the new moon, let's do a mindfulness exercise. Okay, so we all know, maybe not all of us, but most of us know, when we're getting ready to do a mindfulness exercise, make sure that, you're not driving the car, or you're actually someplace stationary. Maybe even riding a bike, but maybe it's a stationary bike. So if you're listening to this podcast, take a pause until you're in a place where, safety first, right? All right, so let's go off on that presumption that everyone's in a place where we're sitting, we're laying down, you're someplace comfortable. And again, there isn't a way to breathe, meaning we're not breathing in our nose and exhaling throughout our mouth with, force. We're just breathing naturally. We're just noticing that we are breathing. And take a moment to set an intention for the full moon. Now, some people might want to set multiple intentions. Let's start with one. One's a good place, because this is new. We're going to start with one, maybe three, but one, and find a comfortable place to close your eyes and just, again, take a few breaths. So a breath in through your nose and exhale through the mouth, and repeat that and breathe in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And one more time, just keep breathing naturally. And reflect on, what is it that you'd like to bring into your life? Maybe it's peace, maybe it's courage, maybe it's resilience, maybe it's new friends. Maybe it's you're looking for connecting with a person. Maybe you're looking for someone to connect with on a business level. Maybe it's a gym partner. Maybe it's just someone to hang out with and have coffee. But whatever it is, visualize it clearly in your mind. Visualize it clearly in your mind. And gently affirm to yourself, I invite new beginnings. I invite positive energy. I invite all possibilities and opportunities that are for my highest good. I invite all of that into my life. And sit with that for a moment. Try to do the affirmation, if you can, on a daily basis. It doesn't have to be the complete affirmation. You can have it shortened. Whatever words you'd like to repeat to yourself is what's important here. I want to move our attention now to Mercury retrograde. I feel bad for Mercury. You know why I feel bad for Mercury? Because Mercury is the planet of communications. It is a lightning speed, lightning quick communicator. And whenever Mercury goes into retrograde, what do people talk about? People talk about, oh, the shit's going to hit the fan. Maybe not literally, but they do. They talk about Mercury retrograde as this doom and gloom. And it really isn't. For years, I would look at astrology reports. Every time there's a Mercury retrograde, be prepared that, you might have computer challenges. Oh, networks are going to freak out. Oh, cars are going to have trouble. Don't travel. Make sure that you make extra time for traveling. There's all going to be these delays. And I kid you not, I got so sick and tired of reading about Mercury retrograde and all this doom and gloom that every time a Mercury retrograde report would come out, I actually stopped reading it. Because I was like, you know what? I don't have that experience. I don't have that experience. You know what experience I did start having, and I noticed it around Mercury retrograde, was that I was redoing things. Like an opportunity to redo something would come up. Maybe this one time, I kid you not, I wrote something and I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I could redo this. And I got an email back from somebody and they said, you know what, I didn't get a chance to read your report. And I responded, you know what, there's some things in there that I forgot to add. Can I redo it? It was incredible. And I look at Mercury retrograde as the opportunity to redo things. If you've been meaning to clean out that junk drawer or meaning to get to reorganize something, the garage, the basement, the sock drawer, whatever it is, tool shed, all of that, guess what? Mercury retrograde gives us an opportunity to redo, restart, reorganize. It's the re. Do you understand this? And the first two letters of retrograde is RE, and the redo is an RE. It's all about the re. So what is it that you want to do? That's what you get to do during Mercury retrograde. And it does. It gets a bad rap. And I don't understand. I don't understand. So let's look at the dates, okay? Because I think the dates are really important. So on August 4th, we have the new moon, okay? Again, great time to start a new project, new habit, get some personal goals going. Then on the 5th, literally the day after, starts Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde is from August 5th, 2024, unto August 28th, 2024. So if there's a project you want to redo, a paper you want to rewrite, maybe you want to make sure you get all your administrative tasks done, filing done, shredding done, this is the time to do it. Mercury retrograde is the re. It's the redo. Some other practical tips for Mercury retrograde. All right. It does. It's a as I'm stuttering here again, don't have the popsicle before recording a podcast. Someone can actually say that to me. Hey, you want to know what? No, I'm not going to redo this episode. We're leaving the bloopers in. But Mercury retrograde, it is. It's blamed for communication mishaps, travel delays, general chaos. Let's shift our perspective, embrace the instead of seeing it as something to fear, embrace it as an opportunity to slow down, reflect, and redo. And again, there's those two letters, R-E. So during this period is a great time to clean, like I said, organize, revisit projects we put on hold. It's an incredibly supportive time for our mental health and our healing journey because we get to do it again. We get the chance to do it again. We get the chance to, like I said, sometimes keeping things organized. I know there's a book here. Maybe I should do another episode. This one here, I'm going to read it to you right now. It's clear your clutter with Feng Shui. So I've actually read this book and I've done some reorganizing in my house. And the irony is doing it during Mercury retrograde. When we have opportunities to redo things, we get a reset for ourselves. We can reset our nervous system. We can release and reset and restart and resume, resting from a place of rest, our nervous system, the rumination, and also some of the things that can cause us some of those challenges. It gives us a chance to say, I'm going to try something different because what I've been doing before is not as effective as I'd like. Or maybe it's not even working. Let's just be real. There's another R-E, right? There's a pattern here. By research, there's another R-E. All right. Other practical tips about Mercury retrograde. Again, clean and organize. It's a great time to declutter our spaces. Tidy an environment. Get the thing clean that you've wanted to clean. Maybe it's your car. I don't know. I know if someone's got something that they're going, yeah, you know what? That's right. You got till the 28th to get it done. How cool is that? Revisit old projects. Is there something that you've set aside? Now's the time to pick it up. Pick it up with some fresh eyes. Reflect and redo. Reflect on past actions and decisions. If something didn't go as planned, that's okay. Guess what? You might consider a new approach and try it differently this time. And the other thing too is practice patience. I know it's really hard to do, especially on this healing journey. We want things to happen so fast. Sometimes we don't want to revisit things. Sometimes we don't want to re-experience things. Be patient with yourself and understand that a delay is an opportunity, another opportunity and another chance to redo. And maybe even this time get it right. Because when you do, then you got a breakthrough. How cool is that? Just understand that delays and miscommunication happens all the time. Doesn't necessarily mean it's directly linked to Mercury retrograde. Be patient with yourself and approach stuff, if you can, with a sense of humor. With a sense of humor. I hope that this information helps folks. And I also hope that this information feels supportive. Because integrating these practices into our healing journey, they can help provide a couple things. One is they can help provide structure, and another thing is they can help provide a sense of control. See, when we set intentions, especially during things like the new moon, we get an opportunity to reflect about how nature affects us, how we can help ourselves and our processing emotions, where we can find clarity and meaning and understanding and even forgiveness with ourselves sometimes, because everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has an opportunity to succeed too. So we can move forward with a renewed sense of purpose. And healing from post-traumatic stress, it is a journey. It's a commitment every day. A commitment every day. And I understand that. And I know that most people who are listening to this podcast do understand that too. And these cosmic events, they can offer a gentle guidance along the way. A gentle guidance along the way. So I've got another affirmation here that I'd like folks to try. And this one's real personal for me. Because there's a few things in life that maybe might have not gone right. But I can tell you when I was a kid, one of the things that I used to enjoy doing was looking up at the stars. That no matter what happened and what was happening, no matter how much chaos was there, no matter what was going on around me, I could always look out the window. I could always be walking in northern Michigan, and I could always look up at the stars. And I know there's a difference between astrology and astronomy, but for me they're interconnected because it brings the wonder of things that are like integrative techniques. It's a wonder of symbolism. It's a wonder of finding new meaning. It's looking up at the new moon and the full moon and seeing its brightness and seeing its colors and just knowing that something so big and so beautiful can affect things here. And I used to believe, and I still believe, that it can still affect me in a positive way, in a healing way. And maybe I don't understand it all, but what I do know is it helps. It helps me. And no matter how small a little victory is, to me it's still a victory. And I share this lived experience with you because I hope that someone else says, you know what? This has helped me too. So here's the affirmation. So again, take a deep breath in through your nose and let it out through your mouth. And take another deep breath in through your nose and let it out through your mouth. And just keep breathing at your normal pace. I embrace the natural cycles of life. I am open to new beginnings and the opportunity to reflect and redo. And my healing journey is supported by the energy, the wonder, and the love around me. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you so much for being with me today. And I appreciate everybody who's here today. I want to give another shout out to our monthly patron sponsor, Dr. Pamela Hall. Go check out her book, PTSD Unplugged. And please try to keep our podcast going. We've got a couple different ways that you can support us. One is share the podcast. That's important. Make sure people are listening to it. And if you think of someone who you think might find this of value, share it. The second thing is leave a comment. I like the 5-star ratings, and those are great too. We've got like a couple that are 4.8 and 4.7. So thank you so much. If you think there's something that you want to hear, send us a line, make us a comment. I read those, and I'll go ahead and make sure that we put that episode out there. And if you put your name to it, you'll get a mention and a nod. And then the third thing is go check us out at patreon.com/PTSD and beyond, or buy us a cup of coffee at Ko-Fi. That'll be awesome. Otherwise, remember, you know what I'm going to say. Someday we're going to have a group effort. We're all going to meet. You know, that'd be so cool to get like a bus and do PTSD and beyond on the road. And we're all going to say it together. We're better together. We're stronger together. And take what resonates and go beyond.